I hope everyone is having a good day, whether you are 5 hours away or a day away. Remember, I love you. Okay, I'm going to just get right into it. Preferences. Unspoken preferences that a lot of people have and a lot of people don't want to admit, but people have them. I have a preference. If you look at my Tinder matches, all you'll see is mainly black people of all shades, skin color, hair texture, whatever. These are black people, all genders. And there are white women that I have a preference for, particularly those that are masked lesbians, non-binary lesbians, gender non-conforming. Like typically if I do go for a white woman, she's typically non-binary or gender non-conforming, but female identified lesbians, white lesbians. I even go for non-black Latinas that may be mestiz or indigenous. I do have a preference, and they are typically people of color. With women, I don't really have that big of a preference for women. Of course, I'm going to go for a brown or dark skinned black woman because, you know, I'm exposed to black women more. Most black women are brown and dark skinned, but I'm not going to turn down a light skinned woman. I'm not going to deny someone who I am attracted to and who I think is a good person. And I feel like preferences should be that. Of course, most of us probably have only dated a certain type of person. We may have only dated white people. We may have only dated black people. We may have only dated women. We may have only dated men. But at the end of the day, as long as you're not turning someone down because, oh my God, you don't fit my preference, it's completely fine. But what I do notice is that a lot of people will turn someone down because they don't look the type. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that person. The person is beautiful. The person is awesome. They have a lot in common with this person that claims to not be interested. But the one thing they don't have is maybe light skin, or they may not be white, or it's just, I noticed that when it comes to preferences, it typically targets those who do not fit into a white Eurocentric beauty standard. And if they don't look like that Fashion Nova Instagram model that's like a blackfish, or if they don't look like Kim K, or they don't look like a black girl that gets a lot of plastic surgery and does a lot of nose jobs to herself, and that's the look on Instagram. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our reasons for plastic surgery, but obviously there's a type of women that we are shown in the media, and it seems to affect people's personal preferences in real life, whether you are a man or woman, or regardless of your gender. It seems to me that people that are attracted to women have a specific type. And I've been in situations where I liked some people that, you know, I usually don't go for, but I thought they were cool. And it was clear that they didn't want to say that they weren't interested in me because I wasn't their type, but it was obvious that that was the case. And then when I would point that out, they'd get mad. Recently, this guy finally had to message me talking about how he was sorry and he just didn't want to say that he wasn't interested because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. But in the process, he hurt my feelings by making me assume that there's all types of things wrong with me, wondering like what's wrong, like do I act a certain way, do I look a certain way, am I just not a good person to him, am I just not pretty enough? You have me thinking all these things just because you couldn't have simply said, hey, you know, you seem like a nice person, I'm just not interested. But then you make me wonder, you ignore my messages, and then when I point out you probably don't like black women, not knowing that I knew about your preference because I went on your Facebook page, I went on your Instagram page, and I saw that the majority of the women that you follow are white or very light-skinned black women, lighter than me. Because I know to y'all, I'm like light-skinned, but this man even referred to me as a dark-skinned woman because he's lighter than me. So when I mentioned that he probably didn't like black women, he was like, well, I mean, I've dated black women and I'm not uninterested in dark-skinned women. And I thought that was interesting because I'm not a dark-skinned woman. And even though he's lighter than me, if he were to tan, we'd be about the same color. So I thought it was interesting when he had to clarify, you know, I've dated black women and I'm not against dark-skinned women. So to me, that lets that lets me know that he's not really used to women like me, fully black women, or women that may be a little bit darker than a paper bag. Because for him to automatically talk about dark-skinned women, when I made no mention of dark-skinned women, I simply said that he has made comments about him being light-skinned, and that was a red flag to me, to let me know that he probably just doesn't like black women. He probably likes white women, or he probably likes really racially ambiguous light-skinned women like himself. And that was the impression that I got from him. So we get into it, and we block each other, and then finally I reach out to him on my other account, cuss him out, tell him how I felt, tell him to go to hell. Then it takes that for him to finally message me talking about how he's sorry, and just because I'm light skinned doesn't mean that I'm a terrible person, which I never said he was a terrible person. I never said that he lacked empathy because he was light skinned. I said that he lacked empathy for not understanding where I was coming from, and in addition to not really supporting me when I told him that I got fired from my job because I was accused of stealing. It had nothing to do with the fact that he's light skinned and half white and his heritage. No one even cares. But when you show people that you really aren't as woke as you claim to be, reading Charlemagne and Joe Budden, who are both abusers, yeah, I'm going to feel a type of way. Like I said, when I have a black person preference, I don't care your skin color, light, dark skin, black is beautiful to me. Of course, most people that I talk to are dark skinned, but as you guys know, I'm not above talking to someone who is mixed or light skinned, but you have to understand the privileges that come with being a lighter skinned black person or a mixed race person for me to fuck with you. And that was all I was trying to say for him. But with that said, I feel like preferences are pretty much dumb if you are going to reject a whole group of people just because of the color of their skin or their sexuality. I was talking about this the other day, where there are a small group of lesbians. It's not all lesbians, but some lesbians feel as if you're bisexual, you can't fuck with them or you're going to cheat on them. And I disagree, because yeah, there are some bisexual women who are heterosexist and who use women just for sex while they are fucking their boyfriends, or they'll go on Tinder and they'll say, I'm looking for a unicorn, which means you're looking for an attractive bisexual woman to join in a threesome with you and your ugly ass boyfriend. And there are a lot of bisexual women like that. So I do understand the qualms that a lot of lesbians have when you find out that a woman is bisexual. So you wonder, is she heterosexist? Is she one of those bisexual women who will fuck a woman but not necessarily commit to her? I understand that. We all have internalized homophobia we need to work through. I'm not going to deny that that wasn't me in the past. But I do want to say this. You are missing out on so many women that are beautiful, who are kind people, just because of the fact that they are bisexual, or because in the past they dated men. I've heard some lesbians say that they can't be with a bisexual woman because she fucked a man a couple of weeks ago. And I feel like, why does it matter about her past boyfriends or past girlfriends? Why do you care so much about her body count? There are lesbian women who have fucked men in the past as well. Does that make them any less of a lesbian? Does that mean that they love women any less just because in the past they were with men? So I feel like you should have that same standard for bisexual women. Same thing with gay men who won't date a bisexual man. What does it matter if he's been with a woman? He's bisexual, so he likes more than one gender. It's not always going to be about you. And I feel like that's a little bit of biphobia and insecurity for you to say, well, I can't be with this person because they're bisexual and they're going to be with a woman or they're going to be with a man. That's not necessarily true. I understand you want to vet people, and you've been across bisexual women who have used women for sex, or who have been in relationships with men and didn't tell you, and then you find out and then you're surprised, because there are a lot of bisexual women who are like this. I'm on Tinder. I know so many bisexual women. You'll talk to them, you'll have a connection, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I got a boyfriend, and we're looking for. There are plenty of women who do this, but I just don't think you should turn down a woman just because you find out that she's bisexual. Because if you make a connection with her and you're attracted to her and you both like women, okay, it shouldn't matter. Because as long as somebody is queer and they like the same sex and you like the same sex, it don't matter if they like the other sex, okay? They with you. So that's what I have to say, you know, blah, blah, blah. Preferences are okay if you're somebody that's like, okay, I've mainly dated this group of people, but I'm not going to turn down somebody else just because of the color of their skin, because I find everybody attractive. That's a preference, not, well, I just find this group more attractive than the other. No, that's not what a preference is. A preference is, like, a dating preference tends to be, you're more comfortable talking to a group of people just because you navigate towards them more. Not, oh, I only date light-skinned people because dark-skinned people are ugly, or I only date this group of people because they nasty and they trashy and they slutty. No, you can't do that. And that's all I have to say for now. I hope everyone has a great and blessed day.